Hi everyone, it's Bev here. Glad you could join me. I'm talking about implementing change, and I'd like to read an email I received. It says this: Hi Bev, help me please. I have been assigned the project of a lifetime to implement a whole new system into a department. Problem is, 3 managers have tried in the past and 3 managers have failed. Now it's my turn and I don't want to fail. My boss is in the US, so I don't have any support on the ground. Am I being set up to fail? Right, well, thank you very much for your email. This is an interesting one, because if I had a penny for every manager I've heard or seen go into a department and implement change, just go in and bash in procedures and policies without a buy or leave to the staff, I would be probably rich. You see, the thing about it is that many people think that we don't like change. People don't like change, but actually we do. We change our cars, our homes, we go on holidays, we change our jobs. We actually like change. The thing that we don't like is when people impose change on us. And if you think about it, a manager going into a place and imposing change is an insult. And it's really disrespectful to the people that have given a lot of their working life to doing something. So this is what I suggest you do. You've got 4 or 5 stages here, and we'll figure it out as we go along. It will take you longer. You may be delayed a couple of months in implementing the change, but let me tell you that if you do it this way, then you're setting yourself up for success. So let's start at the beginning. So you have to implement a new system, you say, by your email. So what you do is you go to the boss, you call up the boss via Skype or whatever, and you have a heart-to-heart conversation with that boss, and you ask it this question: what is the outcome that you want to see? So the outcome, it's not a dream, it's not a vision as such. You're the one that creates the vision, but what is the outcome? So this tells you whether the boss has got ideas or not. If he has got, he or she, I don't know, if they've got clear ideas, then that's fine, that will come out. If they don't have very clear ideas, then you're going to have to thrash it out with them. But make sure that you go into that place with a manifesto. Stage 2. Stage 2, you turn up day 1 and in your new role, and you do nothing. You watch and listen. You just want to soak up the culture. Now, in that stage 1 as well, you want to introduce yourself to people and get a feel for who's who. I don't know the numbers, you don't tell me the numbers, but you watch, you listen, and you introduce yourself. And pretty much what you say is small talk, as you would be introducing yourself to somebody at a party. So hello, what do you do? How long have you been working here? And words to that effect. Stage 3. Now, stage 3, you want to get the boss over. Now, this might not happen, so I don't know if it's a stage that you can happen, because it has to fit into schedules and all of that. But this would be a very important stage to have, because what you have in a situation of change is when you have the team, you have you, and then you have the boss somewhere in the US or somewhere not on site. And what you want to do is position yourself so that it's the team, you and the boss. So it's not your idea of change. This is the mandate or the wishes of a company, and it's bigger than them and it's bigger than you, if you get that point. Okay, so if you can manage for him to come and be visible, that's absolutely great. Then you go on to stage 4, where you have an interview with every single person that is involved. And it doesn't matter what their status is, it doesn't matter what their role is, you want to have a meeting with everybody. And the question that you want to ask, I mean, you can do some preamble questions, but the question that you really want to ask is, what is important to you about the job that you do? You have to include that question, because that question tells you why they get out of bed, why they show up, and what their values are. That is really important, and that is the thing that will stop any change occurring. People that come and implement change don't consider that. You know, what is it? Is it important because it's a cutting edge? Is it important because I'm being useful? Is it important because I'm providing a service? Is it important because I'm doing something for my family? Whatever those are, you need to establish those. So that's stage 4. Then you move on to stage 5. Stage 5 is where you call your meeting. So many managers will call the meeting before they've actually done the preliminary, but you're doing this at stage 5. And it depends how big the team is. I mean, if it's only 10 people or so, then you'll probably be able to do this within a couple of weeks. But if you're talking about quite a few people, then you're looking at a couple of months. What I should say when I rewind to the interviews is that you need to really pace yourself on this one, because I have done this implementation that I'm talking to you about, and one thing I notice is that it is knackering. It is the most brain consuming thing to talk to people, to ask them questions, and it doesn't let up, because people want to tell you their story and you need to be interested in that story. Anyway, so moving on to stage 5 is whereby you present. You tell people what the goal is, and you also feedback to them what you heard, the conclusions you've made from the interviews, and you tell them that you understand how important it is that this change goes right because of all the things that they shared with you. Mention the values. You know, I understand that it's this cutting edge technology, or this is something that you feel very strongly about because you're providing a service. And then you go and you allay those fears that the new system will not stop that service or will not hinder whatever their values are. You also need to lay to rest their issues, which is probably at the back of their head, about their jobs and their security. And so whereby you don't have a crystal ball, you can say, tell them that, you know, if you change and if you implement the new system, maybe it may save jobs. I don't know what the story is, but you have to knock that one, or you have to address that one. So once you've done the presentation, you put them in, you want to ask, are there any questions? But you don't do it like, are there any questions? Because nobody's going to say, yes, I've got a question, and show up as the bad guy. So what you do is you workshop it. So you then put them into groups of 3 and 4 or what have you, and you ask them the question, what are the obstacles to this system being successfully implemented? That's it. There's one question. Let them come up with the obstacles, and then you can do it 2 ways. You can either say, okay, how can we overcome these obstacles? Or you go back to the boss in the US and say, these are the concerns of the workforce, and we're not going to have success unless we overcome these obstacles. How are we going to overcome these obstacles? What I would suggest to you is that you work it through and take autonomy by working through the obstacles as much as you can on your own, or with the team on the ground. So get them on side. So let me go through this again. So your stage 1, you go to the boss, you get your job description, you get the manifesto. Stage 2, you arrive bright-eyed and bushy-tailed to do the job, but you introduce yourself and you do not talk about the system, you're just soaking up the culture. Stage 3, what you want to do is invite the boss over, but this may be an optional one. Stage 4, you have an interview with every single person that is involved or implemented or implicated with the system that you want to introduce, and you ask them what is important to them about their job. And then stage 5, you present your findings and you workshop it, you come up with the obstacles and you solve it with whoever is around to help you solve it. That's how you implement change. It's not hard, not easy to change the hearts of people that have been invested in a job for years, perhaps. However, if you think that the system is worthwhile doing, then the preparation and the groundwork will put you in good stead. Good luck with that, and I wish you a blessed day.